If you've been struggling to get pull-ups or stuck on a plateau, this could be a game changer for you. There's 1,000 alleged hacks for pull-ups, but today I'll show you the missing links that nobody talks about and that work like magic. 3 mistakes you might be making and 5 critical solutions to achieve them. A couple issues right off the bat. Assess yourself. There's mobility. Can you put your arms straight overhead with straight elbows in a straight line with your back? Can you hang from a bar in any grip? Often people don't realize how tight they are. The angle of their shoulder barely goes beyond 90 degrees. This leads to rounded thoracic spine, posture issues, and a ton of strain on your elbows, bicep tendons, and connective tissue within the rotator cuff. There's also strength-weight ratio. It's easy to get strong but be heavy, or to be lean but not strong at all. And this creates imbalances and overcompensations that lead to injuries and prevent pull-ups and total body mastery. And then there's holistic strength itself. We'll go into more detail on that in a minute. Fixing these is what I've seen help countless people achieve their first muscle up, get dozens in a row, and even go way beyond them to muscle ups and more, including people who have had major shoulder injuries and surgeries, all ages, and even ninja level athletes. Lee Weiland, Pacific Rim Athletics, creator of Powerbatics, and welcome to training. First mistake is this: pull-ups are not achieved by basic pulling motions like leaning rows or using bands. In fact, rows will tighten the lats even more and prevent shoulder mobility. And bands prevent holistic adaptation of the full body, which is absolutely necessary. Whoever tells you to use rows or bands or other gimmicks to gain pull-ups, well, I won't cast judgment, but it's like saying paint by numbers trains a person to draw a realistic portrait. There's a big leap involved. Second mistake is this: the pull-up is not even an arms exercise. It's a full body strength move. If you don't make this realization, you'll fall into the same trap as everyone else. You see, the pull-up involves grip, wrists and forearms, biceps, brachialis and other muscles of the upper arm, 17 muscles through the entire shoulder complex, the back, the traps, rhomboids and lats, and the striation you see in all the small muscles going all the way down the spine. The core for stabilization, and failure of the core leads to failure of the whole body. The legs are also involved, especially when you go into tuck, pike, or other positions, even the feet. But what people do at a typical gym or in a mainstream method is make the mistake of training all these parts of the body individually instead of holistically as an athlete or a Pac-Rimian strength ninja would do. Third mistake is this: your body was designed to climb, hang, and pull yourself up and over objects. So a pull-up is foundational to every single human being's strength, skill, and sustainability for life. If you can't do them yet or aren't where you want to be, don't feel bad, because you probably just weren't taught a logical method for how to achieve them. Same is true for other bodyweight strength and skill like handstands, human flags, flares, and flips. And there's a method for each, including pull-ups. And using a logical method changes everything. I had a torn bicep that was reattached and they told me 18 to 24 months recovery time, but I had muscle-ups back in 4 months doing everything I'm going to show you today. Dre went from 0 to multiple pull-ups in a couple of weeks, and Vinny in his 50s had rotator cuff surgery and in a few weeks was already back to doing pull-ups, muscle-ups, and more. You see, pull-ups are possible, but it requires discarding gimmicks, training holistically, and using a logical method. So don't make these mistakes. And now here's a logical method for you. Gaining pull-ups is by a combination of 5 critical elements that create holistic strength, skill, and sustainability. First is this: you don't even start with pulling. Crazy, I know. Instead, build basic pushing strength like frog stand, bridge, and handstand, because it's actually the easier path. It's holistic, requires all of your body, and builds better mobility and a good foundation. Rather than the body hanging slack on a bar just trying to do pull-ups, the entire body, including the pulling muscles like the lats and especially the core, are developed to incredible degrees of strength as they stabilize everything in frog stands, bridges, and handstands. I didn't even train pull-ups, only hand balancing and power moves. Pull-ups and muscle-ups came as easy byproducts. Second, once you start your pulling work, do not do full range of motion. Insane, right? Here's what I mean. I was training for a performance routine which included a 1-arm swing to a meat hook and a 1-arm reverse flag. One day, just for fun, I tried a 1-arm pull-up, and if you know anything about a 1-arm pull-up, you know how challenging it is. Well, I did one, even though I hadn't been training for it. It was like magic. Here's why. There's a method I used called the pulse method. Using the pulse method might be the single most effective way to make the big leap to pull-ups and beyond. Hanging plus small pulsing reps, even small swings with straight arms, discovers and rebuilds weak links while simultaneously building strength at the bottom of the pull. Likewise, Holding with bent arms and then pulsing reps upwards builds strength at the top of the pull. As you get stronger, the distance between the top and bottom merge and becomes full range like magic. Third, your body proportions and strength to weight ratio. Listen, being strong but heavy isn't ideal because they cannot move with freedom. They lack dynamic power and they're prone to injury and illness. And being lean but not strong also causes all those same issues. Ignoring this and just training however you want is what leads people to labral tears that'll take 6 to 9 months to heal. The ideal human body can move with freedom and power. And so that is the goal towards which you should strive, while also having fun with your training, because that is absolutely one of the most important aspects and creates all the difference between pitfalls or progress. Fourth, none of this has anything to do with genetics, talent, or begrudging workouts. You have to believe you can do it. It's the mind that produces transformative action in the body, from neurons to pull-ups. And sometimes it's about getting outside and using your body. It's why I designed Powerbatics to be more of a sport/lifestyle. Fifth, use a variety of angles and continue to progress. Under grip pull-ups, aka chin-ups, are probably going to be the first style that you achieve. A very sneaky tactic is to not use bands, but rather the tops of your feet. Then you progress to overgrip pull-ups, muscle-ups, and even laches and launches. The magic numbers seem to be about 20 chin-ups to get your first pull-up, and then 20 pull-ups to get your first muscle-up, and then from muscle-ups to beyond is all kinds of craziness. And then katas, where I designed them to have you incorporate all different angles and skill levels of hanging and pulling in the ninja strength element of Powerbatics, which progresses all the way to level 10. And if you train this way and use these 5 strategies I shared with you today, it's going to open up the door to a whole new universe of strength and skill for you. And these are just a few key pieces that work for me and my students, but it's just scratching the surface, and there's a whole 10-level system that helps them keep making progress. And if you want help, just click the link and let us know. There's more videos coming up on the screen right now that are designed to help you. See you in the next video and in training soon.